Listen, running a business with a family from home can be very overwhelming, especially for a mom. I'm going to share with you how I handled it, and then how I adjusted, and then how I finally conquered that feeling of stress and overwhelm that comes with running a business from home. Now, let's get into it. So I started out in the kinesiology and exercise world. I was working a 9 to 5. It actually wasn't 9 to 5. A lot of the days it was really late night, and I was just sick of it. I hated my job, and I just wanted out. I wanted my own thing. I was an entrepreneur at heart, and I needed to start something on my own. So once I did, I really started loving it. I loved the freedom, and that's why I got into it, right? That's why we all get into this, for the freedom and to create something on your own. I was able to take my kids to the bus. I was able to pick them up from the bus. I was able to take them to doctor's appointments without calling in sick. And it was just one of those feelings where you just felt at home, right? And you knew it was where you were supposed to be. However, I started to kind of want more out of it. I wanted more out of that business. I wanted success. I wanted this business to be great. And so I just started working. And I was working late at night. I remember one time I was out in my workshop and I looked into the house. It was dark at night. Looked into the lit house, and my family is eating dinner without me. And that started to become fairly normal. They didn't expect me to come in anymore. And when I came in after they were done eating, it was just kind of, a regular night. That just wasn't okay with me. It didn't sit well with me, and I was really bothered by the fact that I was starting to feel like an outsider in my own family.
Not cool, Mom.
However, I still wanted this business to thrive. I wanted success, and I wanted to grow this business into something that I really didn't know if I could or not. I wanted to see what I was capable of. I started to feel a lot more guilt. The guilt of not being there for my kids. The guilt of not spending time with my husband, the guilt of really not contributing financially enough because my business wasn't big enough yet. So that pile of guilt, along with the time spent with family versus the time spent with my business versus all the things I needed to do to grow my business, it just started piling down on top of me. I was getting overwhelmed. I was getting stressed. And then, of course, my fuse started getting short, and I was getting angry and turning into somebody that I just didn't want to be. And I tell you what, that person was not a happy person. I wasn't kind. I wasn't patient. I wasn't a good mom. I wasn't a good business owner. I wasn't a good wife. I was none of the things, but I wanted to master all of it. So how did I go ahead and flip that switch? Well, it was when my daughter asked me to play volleyball. And I said, you know what, after work. And she goes, in such a disappointed voice, "You're always working." And man, I was like, oh, that hit me. And I was thought, there's got to be something that I can do to be happier. Most entrepreneurs, they don't live like this, right? They don't sacrifice their happiness and their joy and their time with their family just to run a mediocre business. I mean, there's people that are super successful with multiple businesses out there, and they look so happy. What was I doing wrong? So I started to do a lot of reflecting, started to spend a lot more time with God, and I came up with some systems. Now, first, what I want to do is just acknowledge you for a minute. You're here. You know there's a better way. But let's just think about all the things that you are overcoming right now. Your family. You've got the stress of all the kids at school, multiple emails, multiple coaches, events, things to go to, all the stuff with the kids. And then the pressure with the family themselves. The pressure to spend more time with them, the pressure to keep the house clean. You've got dishes, laundry, all the things to do in the house as well. So not only are you taking care of those kids, trying to be a good wife, and taking care of your home, now you're trying to add a business to that. With that comes financial responsibility. And you've got that internal drive within you that says, you got to keep going. You got to seek that dream. You've got to create something that you can be successful at. You're striving for something great and a dream that you want, but yet you're starting to get overwhelmed and things are starting to pile up. Trust me, I get it. And I want you to know that this is not uncommon. You're not a weirdo. You're not someone who can't handle stress. You're not someone who is high maintenance and just needs help. You are normal. So I just want to acknowledge that, and I want you to honor the fact that you're here. Congratulate yourself for trying to take the next step towards peace and productivity, and just relax and take notes on this video. And let me just kind of show you what it is that's going to help you get through this, help you find efficient systems, find a better place with God, and find some things in your life that are going to give you more peace and productivity in your heart and in your mind. Let's get started. First things first, we want to identify those stressors. I want you to brain dump everything that you can into a Google Doc, into a spreadsheet, onto a notebook, whatever it is. You just get down everything that's bothering you, whether it's something as small as doing the dishes, or whether it's something heavier like not feeling like enough and feeling like a failure in your marriage. Write everything down, whether it's a task or a feeling or something that you can't make space for. You might forget some things, you might think of things later on, but I want you to take a day, maybe two at the most, to get all of these things out. But we want to make sure that we wrap this up quickly because we want to start moving forward. We don't want to dive into this negative for too long. We're here to launch forward and make progress. The second thing that I want you to do is we're going to organize those thoughts and those stressors. So I want you to come up with 4 different categories. You can put them into squares or columns or however you like. I prefer a column. I like spreadsheets, but at the top, I want you to put for the first one, we're going to use the word delegate. These are things that you can pull from that list and things that you can delegate right away. They're meaningless tasks that that don't require your presence. So doing the dishes, any kind of cleaning can be delegated to some of your family members and your husband. And yes, you will share some of those. Don't think you're getting off the hook just yet for cleaning, but you can delegate those things. You do not need to be present. When it comes to your business, some things might be able to be delegated as well. Taking things to the post office or UPS or helping package items. Maybe your kids can help. Tying little strings on ornaments. I've had my kids do that as well. Folding some of the papers and stacking them in the envelopes, the business cards. Little things like that. You can get help from your family and get those off of your plate. Now, the second column, I want you to put things that you have to be present for. You are necessary for these specific things. So it's whether it's making your product, recording your videos, doing social media, writing the actual book that you're wanting to write, those kinds of things that you have to be present in your business or else it's not getting done. Then I want you to create a third section that you pull from that list, things that you are necessary for, but in the future, you will be able to delegate to an employee. These are good to have in mind for the future when you start writing systems and processes for future employees. Trust me, you don't want to be starting from scratch when someone comes on board. You want to have things flowing nicely and know exactly things that you can get off your plate and some stranger that you're going to pay can do it nice and easy and efficiently. Then we want to get to that last category, things that need conversation. I'm talking about deeper issues like expectations. Your family's expectations of you. Are you able to work throughout the day? If you have kids at home right now, are your kids expecting you to pay attention to them all day long and play with them all day long? Those require conversations. There is a time when mom needs mom time. Mom needs to work on the business. Mom needs to do certain things. And kids and family, they'll get it. They will not struggle with this. Don't think that your kids are going to freak out if you put them in a room and tell them to play on their own. Because guess what? They're actually going to learn independent activities and how to be creative on their own for just a little bit. And it's kind of good to know that mom doesn't just pay attention to you all the time. It's kind of good for them to understand that mom has her own thing going on and you get to do your own thing too right now. So take those opportunities to have the conversations with your husband, even expectations financially, expectations of time and where you can improve together and spend more time together efficiently. So these are the 4 columns that I want you to address. Things that you can delegate, things that you are required to be there for, things that you're required to be there for now but can delegate in the future, and then things that need that serious conversation. And now the final thing that I want you to do is find community and like-minded people. Surrounding yourself with other strivers and other mompreneurs, people that are experiencing the same struggles as you and want the same dreams and aspirations as you, that is going to make you feel a little bit more common and not such a freak show in your family where you're not achieving goals or you're not spending enough time or you're not making enough money or, all these things you start feeling guilty about. You're going to be able to have a community of people that are going through the same thing and you know exactly how to handle it because they've gone through it as well. So find a community, find a coach. I first started this journey with a high performance coach of my own. Before I was a high performance coach, I found one on my own. I actually found him because I wanted to get better at my business, right? I had no idea that I needed so much work internally and on myself. I thought he was going to help me with my business. However, most of the coaching actually went towards my personal development and who I am as a person and why I think the way I think and how I can think like a high achiever and do high achiever things. That changed my business. So I didn't actually get business tips from him, but changing who I was in my heart and in my mindset changed how my business ran. So I highly recommend either finding a high performance coach. Who could that be? Or finding a community that you can get in touch with. Also, just give yourself some grace. Start letting go of some of those things that are holding you back that you feel like you're kind of just nagging on your husband about all the time. Let it go. If it's not something that's going to move the needle for you, it's something that you can give to God and just let it go. If you're really harping on your kids about their homework and, why can't they just read that book like they're supposed to? Give them grace and just let it go. Everybody makes mistakes. We all make mistakes. And if you give yourself just a little bit more grace and just start being a little more patient and kind to yourself, you're going to find relief in so many different ways. Okay, now that the boring stuff is out of the way, now we get to the juicy stuff that I really enjoy. This is where I feel like I gained a lot more personal self growth with God and with myself. And I feel like I became a whole different person through these practices. First things first, you need a morning routine. You need to incorporate some sort of exercise, some sort of stillness. So you've got the movement and the stillness. I recommend like a meditation or a tapping or something like that. And I do yoga. Pilates for exercise. It doesn't have to be something where you go to the gym and you just lift weights and get strong and run a marathon. I'm talking small movement, stretch your muscles, get your blood moving, and then be still with your mind and your thoughts. Now, I've got ADHD, so that is like super tough for me. But I learned to control it just a little bit, and I learned to be still in my own thoughts and get present with God. And that actually really helped my peace in my heart and my whole system just become a little more patient with life and patient with my kids. And I feel like a whole new person just through developing this morning routine. So I have exercise and I've got the meditation or tapping. I love the tapping solution. I'll put a link in the description. And then I recommend some sort of journaling. Anything that you can bring into some kind of self-reflection and self-care. And then I want you to have some sort of schedule as well where you can look at that, but that's not the main focus. Your main focus in your morning routine is just self-care. And I feel like most mompreneurs don't really get much self-care. When it comes to taking care of yourself, moms neglect this all the time. So this is your moment. Get up earlier than the kids and have 30 minutes to an hour to yourself, whatever you want to do to make your day lovely. And where you can wake up with the sun and wake up with God and say, okay, this is my day and this is how I'm going to conquer it. Now, the one stipulation to this morning routine, absolutely no, I don't want to say no phone because I use the yoga app on my phone and I use the Bible app for my devotionals and my meditations are on my phone. So phone is fine. And I've actually got a trick to help you avoid social media and text. But no emails, no texts, no work, no technology outside of using those apps that are self-care based for that morning routine. Once you get past this kids going to school and you're starting on your work day, you're getting progressed into the things that are already done, that were needle moving activities that you needed to focus on, then you can go ahead and go into texts and emails later on in the morning. But first things first, take care of yourself in the morning. Now, the next thing that I highly recommend is a nighttime routine. Now, Wayne Dyer says the last 5 minutes of your day is the most important part of your day. Why? Because you're filling your mind with the things that your subconscious brain is going to marinate on for the next 8 hours, hopefully 8 hours. But your subconscious mind never stops, right? You're always dreaming or thinking about things when you don't really intend to. So putting the correct and proper things into your brain at night before you go to sleep is going to be huge when you wake up. Now, I've got some tips on things that you can do for your nighttime routine as well. Aside from the normal, like skincare, brushing your teeth, getting ready for bed kind of a thing, we're also going to take that just another level. I want you to get your clothes ready for that next day. I want you to have your coffee on the auto brew. I want you to have your lunches made for your kids. I want you to set out anything that you need in the morning that you're typically kind of scrambling around for. Then I want you to take it another step, and I want you to do journaling again. A gratitude journal at night is very, very good for your soul, and it's going to put you into a great acceptance of the day and in a positive mindset. And I also want you to think about some of those people that you helped that day and things that went right that day. I don't want you to journal about negative things and start thinking about how your day went wrong. I want you to journal intentionally about things that went right that day. So aside from that, I also want you to check your schedule. So for the next day, you need to know exactly what's going on and the next couple days ahead. But focusing on that next day at night and checking off all the boxes. Yes, I got an appointment. Okay, I have a coaching call. I have this, this, and this. Going to bed knowing those things is going to help you sleep better. You're going to actually put yourself to sleep without the stress of going, do I have something? Okay, I think I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, maybe. I'll see you in the morning. You know, you just get a little bit stressed when you don't know exactly what's going on. So check your schedule. One more thing I recommend is another set of tapping and or meditation at night. Tapping Solution actually has some really good sleep ones as well. If you have trouble sleeping, try doing some of these tapping. My kids love it. They have kids tapping solution as well. So look into that. Check out my link and let me know if you have any questions about that. One piece of homework that I have for you, I want you to find one action item that you can change in your life. One thing in your life, a routine, a habit. Maybe it's implementing that morning routine. Maybe it's changing a couple things at night. Those are going to be big needle movers. If you can identify some of those stressors that's bothering you, get them journaled and categorized into what you can do and what you can give away, your life is going to free up and you're going to see a lot more space provided in your personal life and your business. If you found any part of this valuable, like and subscribe and share it with anybody that you think might be able to benefit as well. Thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any troubles. I'm Trisha Maxwell Growth Coach on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Thank you so much, and go be blessed.